You're sitting in that twilight blur, phone glow on your face, tabs open like unfinished conversations, a low nagging should lodged behind your ribs. It's not laziness, it's being tugged in a dozen half-done directions while your breath shortens and decisions feel heavy. The real problem isn't you, it's the way your day hands you beginnings and forgets to give exits, so attention leaks away through tiny, unresolved things. Hold on for a moment. This isn't a new plan or a stern pep talk. Tonight, we'll try a quiet, doable move that ends a few small things and proves closure is possible, so the hum eases and you get a little of your headspace back.
It's late. Dusk has slipped into night, and the blue glow of your screen is the only light left. Your thumb scrolls because it's easier than stopping. Tabs bloom and disappear, and the room holds the echo of chores half-whispered from the sink. You can feel the soft ache of "I should" resting just beneath your ribs, a hum that doesn't rise or fall, just hovers. You're not quite resting, not quite working. You're living in the in-between. Your jaw's a little tight. Your breath stays close to the surface, barely letting anything in. You keep reaching for one big move that will fix it all, a new app, a perfect routine, a heroic plan that starts tomorrow. But every time you look around, what you see are frayed edges. A tab you opened to deal with later, an email you read but didn't reply to, a glass half-rinsed waiting on the counter like an unfinished sentence. You're not broken, you're buffering, and buffering is exhausting.
There's a name for this ache, the weight of open loops. Your mind is tracking each loose end like a vigilant lighthouse, sweeping the same coastline over and over, searching for closures that never arrive. No wonder you feel stalled. It's as if you're standing in a room of doorways, all cracked open, each one calling your name and asking for a piece of you. Of course sleep is hard. Of course focus is slippery. You're trying to sit still while a dozen small threads tug at your attention, gentle but relentless. You're not lazy, you're loaded. Loaded with details you care about, responsibilities you've already engaged, and a brain that notices what hasn't landed yet. The gap isn't in your character, it's in completion. Tonight, before you reach for another promise, just notice what's true. You're holding your breath in a life full of half-finished signals, and your system is doing its best to keep all of them in view. That vigilance has kept you afloat. It's also what's wearing you down. You don't need a lecture, you need a little slack, a softer edge, and proof that a few of those doorways can close without a fight.
The root problem isn't willpower, it's design. The modern day is built for starting, not finishing. Notifications invite you in, but nothing escorts you out. Every convenience holds a latch that opens another loop. A message pings, a tab flickers to life, a reminder lands, a thought gets captured for later. Your inner system is missing exits. In that landscape, work is never just a task, it's a cascade of beginnings without a clear end. Your brain naturally prioritizes the unfinished. This is how we're wired. What lingers keeps leaking attention, a slow drip that rarely feels traumatic but quietly empties the tank. When there are too many leaks, energy falls faster than you can refill it. You try to stir yourself into big, impressive action, but it's like attempting a sprint with untied shoelaces. The friction you feel isn't laziness, it isn't a lack of ambition. It's an accumulation of tiny, unresolved commitments, each one humming in the background, each one asking for closure you didn't have time to give.
In this kind of day, starting something new often feels easier than finishing what began an hour ago. New has a bright doorway. Ending asks for attention in the dull light, the kind that arrives when the interesting part is done, and what remains is a small turn of the wrist, a final click, a sentence that confirms, a dish fully rinsed. Without explicit exits, you're stuck in perpetual mid-chapter. It's not that your life is out of control, the closures are. Deadlines circle the edges of your mind because you've touched the work, not closed it. Messages glare unread because you opened the thread, not marked it done. Chores whisper because the last 2 minutes got swallowed by something louder. You can try to muster more force, more grit, more declarations of "I'll be different." Or you can recognize the truth of the system you're operating in. Beginnings are cheap and abundant. Endings are scarce and unmarked. If you redesign the evening so that tiny, graceful exits exist, motivation no longer has to carry the whole load. Completion does.
You don't need a total reset. You need micro closures. Not more tools, not a better morning. It's evening now, and the most powerful move available is to end 3 tiny things. Momentum doesn't start with a plan, it starts with a finish. Think of your day as fabric. Strength doesn't come from piling on more threads, it comes from stitching up the loose ones that catch and snag. Every small finish is a stitch. Humble, quick, enough. Stitches are small by design. They don't shout, and yet they hold everything together. When you close a loop, you do more than tidy a corner. You reclaim attention. You restore the feeling that things can land. You teach your nervous system that endings are possible here, tonight, in this ordinary room. You don't have to conquer the mountain. Close 3 pebbles. Let your brain taste done again.
We'll use a gentle rule. No adding, only ending. Instead of reaching for a new commitment or opening a new window, you will touch only what is already in motion and give it a clean line. Visible action, 1 breath long. Not a promise for tomorrow, a finish for today. This isn't a test of discipline. It's a small ceremony of closure. 3 exits, 1 in your space, 1 on your screen, 1 in your relationships. Each will be tiny on purpose, the kind of thing you could do in the time it takes to sigh. The point is not the magnitude, it's the message. When you finish something, your brain gets evidence it can stop tracking that thing. A tab that's closed no longer leaks. A cup that's rinsed no longer calls. A sentence that sets a boundary lets the thread rest. Micro closures are how you build momentum in low-light evenings when everything feels midair. We will not add weight. We will let 3 small doors click shut and let the silence that follows gather around you like a blanket. Here's your Close 3 Loops protocol. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes, and it begins with setting the scene. Stand up for a moment. Drop your shoulders. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. If you can, let your mouth soften. Whisper to yourself, no adding, only ending. Let it be a promise to this hour, not a plan for your life. Now choose 3 loops across 3 zones. 1 physical loop, a tiny visible thing in your space. 1 digital loop, a small unresolved thing on your screen. And 1 relational loop, a micro-touch that eases social friction. Give yourself 60 seconds to pick them. Each choice must be finishable within a minute. It should end with a visible result you can point to and say, done. If any choice tries to swell beyond that, shrink it until it fits. For the physical loop, choose 1. Put 1 stray item back where it belongs. Take the cup to the sink and rinse it fully. Fold just the shirt on top of the pile. Plug your devices into their chargers for tomorrow. Set your shoes by the door facing out. For the digital loop, choose 1. Close 5 tabs you won't return to and park 1 useful tab on a simple holding page for later. Archive or delete 10 emails without replying. Rename a messy file so you can find it. Set a 2-minute timer and mute notifications from 1 low-value app. Move today's unchecked to-dos to a single note titled Tomorrow's First 3. For the relational loop, choose 1. Send a 1-sentence reply that says, saw this, we'll get back to you Friday. Leave a sticky note for your morning self. Start with X, you've got this. Text a gentle boundary. Can we move our call to tomorrow afternoon? Or thank someone briefly. Appreciated your help earlier. Just wanted to say that. After each loop, pause. Exhale. Closed. It tells your brain the loop ended and the reward has been delivered. If a new task appears while you're closing a loop, don't follow it. Capture it on a single landing page, paper or OneNote, with the header, later. Captured is a loop of its own. Completion can wait. If you want a small lift, add 1 minute of enhancers. Place a morning exit cue or you'll see it. Keys, a bottle of water, the first page to start, and sweep a 30-centimeter square of desk clean. For a night version before bed, lay out tomorrow's clothes or set your bag by the door. Set do not disturb for 8 hours and write 1 line to your tomorrow self. Begin with email from Alex. If you wake foggy, close 3 loops before coffee. Make the bed in 30 seconds, open the window for fresh air, and choose the day's first task, placing it in the center of the desk. For an emergency 90-second reset anytime, stand, roll your shoulders, sip water, close 3 tabs, put 1 item away, then breathe out, closed. To keep it going without pressure, don't track streaks, collect closures. At day's end, write the number 3 on a sticky, that's all. When energy returns, you can close more, but 3 is always enough.
Notice what just shifted. The room didn't transform, but your body did. The air feels a little wider. There's a place for your mind to land, instead of circling. 3 tiny doors clicked shut, and the quiet you're sensing is not trivial. It's a direct message to your nervous system. Endings are possible here. The hum is softer because you gave it evidence, not promises. You didn't overhaul your life. You finished 3 small things, and the texture of the evening changed. You can feel your breath travel farther now. Your jaw loosens. The screen's blue light looks less demanding. You're not behind. You were mid-chapter. And now, for tonight, the paragraph has a period. Tomorrow doesn't need a makeover. It needs the same gentle skill you used just now, a soft practice of closure. Days will fray again, of course they will. Work will scatter, messages will stack, dishes will ask, but you know what to do when the tug returns. No adding, only ending. 3 loops at a time. You're not lazy, you're loaded with care, with effort already invested, with threads already woven. What you needed wasn't a surge of will. It was a way to stop the leaks and feel the satisfaction of done arrive in small, certain doses. Sleep comes easier when your brain trusts that things can be put down. Focus returns when attention isn't leaking through a dozen hairline cracks. Control comes back not as a dramatic wave, but as a series of quiet finishes, a rhythm of closure that steadies you without fanfare. If you like, write the number 3 on a sticky before you turn out the light. It isn't a scoreboard, it's a reminder of exits. Tomorrow, when the room tilts toward overload, you'll remember that momentum doesn't begin with starting. It begins with ending something small. Close 3, breathe, continue.